Are your sketches good enough to take top dollar from the art connoisseurs, or will you have to settle and sell them to the commoners in the market in Montmartre?
Hey, thanks for joining us again at Tantrum House Studio 3. I'm Will Meadows.
And I'm Sara Meadows, and today we're looking at Montmartre from BLAM, and this is from designer Florian Syriax and art by Jean Landart.
This one is a 2 to 5 player set collection card game that takes about 30 minutes to play. It's got some really fun art. BLAM was kind enough to send us a copy to check out, so let's take a look at how it's played.
To set up the game, place the collector cards in piles of ascending order from 2 to 10.
Place the 5 contract cards nearby, and then deal 4 cards to each player, then divide the remaining deck into 3 face-up piles.
Place 27 coins in the supply, and then you're ready to begin.
On your turn, you have a choice to either A, paint, where you will place any 1 card in your workshop, or 2 cards if their sum is 5 or less. Then you may choose to sell at the market any number of paintings of the same style for 1 franc each, and draw from the same pile back up to 4 cards.
Or you can choose B, to sell to a collector. You must have the most paintings of that style or have the highest value for that style, and the collector must be able to be approached by Ambrose Vallard, your broker. You send Ambrose to the matching collector and sell your highest valued matching painting and gain the top card from the pile.
Next, you may choose to, once per game, earn a contract from the newspaper if you have sold enough to collectors.
Play continues around the table with artists painting and then selling their art. Once 2 collectors are finished buying, or if someone has 15 francs, the game ends and points are tallied, and the player with the most points wins.
Montmartre is a pretty slick little simple rule card game. You're only really kind of doing 1 or 2 things on your turn, but because you're kind of watching what everybody else is doing and you have to be pretty strategic in when you play your cards, it almost has like a push your luck tension type of feel to it. For being as straightforward of a game it is, it's got a really satisfying gameplay experience.
Yeah, you do have to pay attention to what other people are playing. You are only allowed to have 6 cards in your workshop. So if you choose that A action of painting, you'll have to be careful not to put out too many paintings unless your plan is to sell some of them at the market for 1 point each. Sometimes it's good to get rid of some cards that you may have already sold a bunch to that collector for.
Yeah, one of the interesting things is that the collectors, the points that they award are in ascending order, so you may not necessarily want to be the first person to sell your 1 type of painting to this guy, especially if you can kind of keep an eye on the types and values of cards that other players have in their hands. We might both have 2 cards. I've got the higher one. I know that I have the right to buy before she does, but I may not want to buy first because I would only get 3 points. Maybe I can get 4 if I let her draw another card, and so that push and pull tension is really, really nice.
In the game, you can see what cards are on those decks that are out that you have to choose from. If you decide to paint, you're going to draw back up to your hand limit of 4. So you'll know you get that top card, but then you don't know what's underneath. So if you've played a couple cards out of your hand, then there's a little bit of I don't know what I may be getting, but you usually just have to go with it anyway.
And then that same push your luck that I was talking about applies to the newspapers at the top as well. You can only collect those once in the game, so you want to get up to that 5th one, where you've got to have 4 or 5 different colored paintings to be able to claim it to get the most points, but somebody else might beat you to it, and then you're stuck with lesser points again. So yeah, like for the delightful artistry of it all, there's some like nail-bitey moments.
Yeah, this almost feels like a Reiner Knizia type style game where you know the math all works out on the back end, and it's really just using the cards that you have very effectively. Sometimes it's worth just taking the 1 point in the market. Sometimes it's worth waiting it out and hoping to get the higher higher valued collectors to come and get your painting at the right time. There are ways to block the other players. If you go and even though you don't have a very high valued say yellow card painting, and you send Ambrose to go be your broker for you, then the next player can't go to that same broker, which blocks them. So there's some nice little tensions, and it just feels very satisfying playing this card game.
Yep. I really appreciated the art style for the game. It feels really relevant to the era. I enjoyed the little tiny details of like the lower valued cards are less finished paintings. They're just the rough sketches, and then you get up to those higher valued ones and the actual painting is finished out. Overall, I really like the look of it.
Yeah, I agree. And even though this deals with an art time where the art has a little bit more of an adult feel, it's still done in a very nice way.
Yep, pretty tasteful. If you're interested in checking this one out, take a look at it from BLAM. I think you'll really enjoy it. We've had a good time with it. If it looks like something you would enjoy, definitely give it a playthrough. Thanks so much for joining us for yet again another episode. Hopefully the info was helpful. Let us know in the comments what kind of thoughts you had. We always appreciate your feedback, and we definitely always appreciate when you like and subscribe. So keep doing that. You guys have fun. Catch you next time.
It's good enough to sell the...
In the market of my mouth.
That's not what I said.
Sounded like it to me. I haven't even said that part yet.
I know, but I'm anticipating it, and it's...
Anticipation struggles.
It is. Okay. Marta.
Montmartre?
Well, that's not even right. It's Montmartre. There's an exhale on this RT. The first.
This game is pretty neat.